Hello everyone. I hope you are fine and keeping safe. Before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Danish Jamal Khan. I'm a banker by profession and have over 15 years of banking experience across multiple geographies. This video has been created for the academic purpose for one of my courses which I'm studying at International School of Management. As the title page suggests, this video is about R3, which is one of the prominent blockchain-based company across the world. And the case title was Putting the Fin Back in the FinTech. So the presentation highlights will cover an introduction and what is fintech or financial technology. Then we will move to distributed ledger technology or blockchain. And then last but not the least, we will come to the core of today's video, which is about the company R3, their Corda platform, their business model, their operating model, their technology and architecture. And then finally, we will discuss the way forward for this company. Okay, so let's get started with the introduction part. Now, R3 was established in year 2014 as a family office, which was initially investing in early stage fintech companies. And over the last 5 to 6 years, this company has evolved as one of the leading blockchain companies in the world. There are several reasons why this company was able to make such a breakthrough. They have a very unique philosophy, unique perspective, and they are in the business of redefining the how organizations operate and redefining the trades and payment business. Okay, so before we start talking about R3 and their fundamentals and what they are doing or what are their success stories, I feel it's imperative that we first discuss what is financial technology or fintech. Now, fintech is one of the most disruptive concepts that we have encountered in the banking industry in last, say, 8 to 10 or 10 to 12 years. Now, when we talk about fintech, we cover two aspects in a broader terms. One, fintech as a concept, and two, fintech as an industry. So when I'm referring to fintech as a concept, the fintech as a concept exists in the world for more than probably 150 years. And very precisely, the first time when world spoke about fintech, not exactly the terminology, but as a concept was 1867, like 150 plus years back. At that time, in 1867, the very first transatlantic cable was established, which has facilitated the communication between different markets. Fast forward in 1960s, we all know that the credit cards were available, ATM was established, and then fast forward another 20 years, internet was obviously making its presence prominent in the banking industry. Then in 1990s, dot-com bubble came, and then early 2000s we have seen the advent of internet banking, and then like last 8 to 10 years we have seen mobile banking making a lot of space. So when we talk about all these developments, they are about fintech as a concept of financial technology or the technology getting used in the finance industry. Fintech as an industry actually evolved post global financial crisis. And how this industry got evolved was basically when few of the smart technology companies have seen the gap that financial services companies were unable to offer the right kinds of services and products and experiences to customers. So that's when they thought, okay, let us use the technology to build right customer value propositions with the right experience. And then we have seen the advent of neobanks and so many other organizations which have started offering their solutions to customers. Uh, I mean, first phase of fintech was all about competing against the banks. But later on, gradually, fintechs have realized that competing against big banks is probably not the right solution. So then we have gradually entered into an era where fintechs or the technology companies which were offering the financial solutions basically started collaborating with financial services companies. And we now live in an era where most of the fintech companies are in collaboration mode with financial services companies. Yes, we still do have certain fintechs in the category of neobanks and I mean few other categories that are still competing against banks, but largely the current era of fintech is about bank and fintech collaboration to offer value proposition for customer. Now, one more aspect of fintech is that it has made a lot of ground in developing countries, and few very prominent examples are M-Pesa in Kenya, Paytm in India, and likewise there are a few more examples. Now, I want to discuss one thing which I really liked, and okay, let me move on to the next slide first. Okay, here we go. So, as per Chris Skinner is one of the renowned personalities, analyst, and an author for fintech or the banking industry. Now, he has described the road ahead for fintech, and he precisely referred like 7 years from now, fintech will basically be as follows. So I'll read out the statement. As per Chris Skinner, when we get to truly open the platforms and marketplaces of APIs, apps, and analytics, we can start to fully integrate banking and fintech and big tech. Finally, when that is completed, we will no longer talk about banks versus fintech or even banking and fintech. We will just talk about finance over the networks as it will be fully integrated as one seamless, frictionless system, internet enabled, global, and in real time. So I think this pretty much defines the future of fintech where instant experience, seamless experience, frictionless systems, giving convenience to customers irrespective of who is giving this to customer will be termed as the most important thing. So if you want to read more about fintech or from where I have actually picked this statement is basically there's a book called Doing Digital by Chris Skinner, which is published just an year back. So very much a fresh perspective. I thoroughly enjoyed the book and I can confidently recommend it to you. Okay, so let's move to the next section of our presentation, which is about distributed ledger technology or blockchain. So in this section, we'll actually discuss about the technology, its characteristics and use cases. Okay, so first, I'm sure you must have heard about the terminology blockchain or distributed ledger. Most of the times, this technology or these terminologies are used interchangeably, but there's a thin difference between these technologies. Blockchain actually refers to the scenario or the technology where transactions are processed in blocks or batches. So when several transactions gets processed, they became a block, and then one block is tied to the next block through a chain. So that's how this name has been evolved as a blockchain. While distributed ledger refers to the technology where each transaction is processed individually and on real-time or near real-time basis. Now, this technology this technology got introduced to the world as one of the most revolutionary technologies, one of the most hyped technology in recent times. People have called it Internet 2.0 or Money 2.0 or Web 3.0. So, this technology is still existing and is making a difference in many industries. Now, the core of this technology is that it works on a decentralized concept. and it's a technology that builds trust. Everything is encrypted, and few of the characteristics of this technology is like it offers immutability, transparency, and traceability. And you'll be surprised to know that this technology has been used in many industries like supply chain, trade finance, cross-border remittances, digital identity, land registry, and blockchain is also the underlying technology for many cryptocurrencies. And obviously, the most prominent one is Bitcoin. Okay, after discussing the fintech and blockchain, let us move to the third and most important part of today's session, which is about R3, their Corda platform, their business model and operating model, their technology and architecture, and few other highlights. Okay, so R3 has one prominent platform named Corda. Now, Corda platform primarily works on distributed ledger technology, not blockchain. So this is what this company emphasizes on, that this platform is about distributed ledger technology. So transactions and whatever we are doing about or whatever we are doing on this platform is real time or near real time. They don't use blockchain technology. Their philosophy, their perspective is quite unique, which we are going to explore in upcoming slides. Okay, so let's discuss about the business and operating model of R3. R3 is about a private and permissioned distributed ledger platform. It's open source and it's open for developers community to basically understand the platform and develop their own solutions for their commercial use. The data sharing is on need to know basis. Now, this is the most important aspect of R3 or their Corda platform, that they don't share the data with all parties in a network. The data is just available, can be seen, can be interpreted by the parties where the access needs to be given, or where the access is actually required. Uh, the Corda platform have enabled use cases like cash balances, cross-border payments, trade finance, reinsurance, clearing, and settlement. Now, one of the unique things about this company is that most of their customers are their investors as well. So naturally, their interest in the company is quite high. And another unique perspective of R3 is that many of the financial regulators are part of their ecosystem, and few of the financial regulators are actually investors in the company as well, which gives them advantage in building right kind of solutions for financial services industry. They also call themselves unique because they are made for, or their technology or their distributed ledger framework is made for financial services industry. Having said that, they are not confined to financial services industry. Their platform can be used by any industry. There have been many associated benefits with Corda platform, like if implemented successfully, they drive a lot of operational efficiencies, risk mitigation, turnaround time improvement, which eventually benefits customer, liquidity improvement, and fraud mitigation. So just to summarize the business and operating model, it's a private, permissioned, distributed ledger platform. They have open source platform as well, which anyone can use. The data sharing is only on need to know basis, which is a fundamental of R3's Corda platform. Okay, let's move forward to their technology and architecture. The first thing we have already discussed, it's open source. Few other unique capabilities are it's interoperable and easy integratable with other platforms and technologies. It's the only platform with multiple consensus providers. Now, distributed ledger technology is actually made possible with the help of three different innovations like person-to-person network, public key cryptography, and consensus algorithm. So this platform is private and consensus can only be enabled to only participating parties. Now, let me explain the consensus part a little more because I think it needs to be elaborated properly. So by consensus mechanism or consensus algorithm, I mean how are the transactions going to get approved or processed? So I'm sure the people who are familiar with a Bitcoin platform or Bitcoin blockchain, they must have heard about the terminology called mining, where miners or few people are basically performing the mining function and approving the transactions, and they are rewarded for that, right? So that is called as proof of work for blockchain platform, or rather Bitcoin platform. So in case of R3 Corda platform, they use that's a platform which can use multiple consensus mechanisms. So in case if two parties are transacting, the consensus mechanism can be that, okay, these two parties can approve the transaction and no one else will be able to interfere in the transaction, and no one else will be able to see the transaction unless they are given the access rights. Okay, so just to quickly summarize, it's a unique platform, it's interoperable, it can be integrated with other technologies and platform. It is enabled via innovations like P2P networks, public key cryptography, and consensus platforms. So yeah, it's a bit technical, but I hope I was able to explain it in a right manner. Okay, a few of the other highlights of R3 are, as we have previously discussed, it's a distributed ledger platform, and they want to be called themselves as distributed ledger platform and not the Bitcoin. Their ecosystem is growing fast, and as we speak, they have more than 300 different stakeholders like banks, other financial services companies, or regulators on their platforms, which actually make them quite unique. Different analysts who possess right amount of know-how onto into the industry, they predicted the that any model which is permissioned blockchain model will grow, because financial services industry works in a different style. They are conservative. They work on a trust. So data sharing needs to be restricted. The platform needs to be or should work on privacy principles or permissioned principles. So that is why many analysts have believed that any platform operating considering all these elements will make a good progress, because with the passage of time, digitization and technology adoption will increase. So there's a lot of room and opportunity for R3 and likewise for other upcoming companies to operate in this space. Now, uh, I have added few more details which are post publication of this case, but I thought, okay, let me add it as an additional information. In 2021, just a couple of months back, R3 have actually launched another platform with the name of Conclave, which deals with sensitive data. How do organizations secure the sensitive data? DBS have extended digital trade offerings to 4 new markets in Asia Pacific using R3 Corda platform. DBS is one of the leading banks in Singapore, and this bank have made quite a great progress in terms of digital transformation in last few years. In recent times, R3 have also signed few collaborations, and few big ones are with Nasdaq and IBM Cloud, and I mean more than 100 Italian banks are now on this platform, which is quite a lot of achievement considering we're just talking about last 3 to 4 years when this platform actually gained some ground. Okay, so way forward. I mean, let me ask few questions, and feel free to explore them. Feel free to think about them more. Will blockchain technology live up to expectations? I mean, as I have discussed previously, it is one of the most hyped technology, one of the most revolutionary technology that have came in recent times. Of course, along with few other technologies like robotics, artificial intelligence, cloud computing. So blockchain is also in that premier league technologies where the expectations are quite high. So will this technology live up to the expectations? How much more time is needed for technology to be really mature? Because many analysts say that this technology is still in its early phase and lot needs to change. When will organizations see material cost savings enabled through blockchain technology? Because many cases have been implemented using distributed ledger or blockchain technology. Many evolutions have happened, but many of the organizations are still unable to scale this technology to the larger extent. And one last question: will this company go public? I mean, because they were actually exploring the opportunities to go public. So, as I have mentioned earlier, FinTech have disrupted the financial services industry. So, will this disruption continue? And what is the next big thing that we are going to see in coming years? It's time to think. I mean, no one can tell with 100% surety or certainty that what is coming ahead. But let's understand that fintech is a reality. It has already disrupted financial services industry. It has already gained, or rather, the fintech companies have gained fair amount of market share in the industry. So, what is the next big thing? I'm excited to know this. Okay, so a quick wrap up. In the last 20 minutes, we have covered about the fintech industry. We have covered about the blockchain and distributed ledger technology, and we have covered about R3, their Corda platform, their business and operating model, their technology, and architecture. I hope this video was informative and insightful, and I hope this have added uh, something to your learning curve. We are going through a turbulent time, so I will ask you to take care of yourself, stay safe, take care of your families wherever you are, and that's it. Thank you so much for being here and listening to this video. Goodbye.